And we're back with Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. We just finished up Land of Dragons, so we'll be moving on to our next world, but it looks like we can't even see Twilight Town anymore.
That's weird.
And that world's fully uncovered. But before we go to that one, we're going to go to this one, and that means another Gummi mission. And now we can equip some of the blocks that we got in our first mission. Mostly some new guns, and that bar there, that increases the attack power of the ship.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this is a complete glass cannon build for the Gummi ship, where it's just about increasing its firepower and strength, and not giving a single crap about defense or anything. Because the donut shape of the ship pretty much takes care of that. All right. So, yeah, I think they did a good job of making the Gummi missions a lot less bland visually in 2. Because in 1, it was a lot of times you're just sort of in a blank void. It's a lot more dynamic. But yeah, remember how in Kingdom Hearts 1 you would, oftentimes chests in worlds would have Gummi parts in them, and when you got them it was a little disappointing. It's like, oh, just a Gummi part? Yeah, they, in here, Gummi parts are exclusively gotten through the Gummi mode. Okay, all chests give you stuff for the actual game. And I'm not sure if getting that red one right there is even possible at this stage in the game. At least not with the build I'm using. You just don't have the firepower for it right now. It goes by so fast. So you'll see that the camera is regularly flipping around and looking at, side view, back view, front view. So that's all done automatically in missions 1 and 2. If you complete missions 1 and 2, you then unlock mission 3, and the gimmick of mission 3 is that you have to control the camera yourself using the shoulder buttons.
I wasn't sure if you were controlling that or not.
Nope. And you'll very rarely see me in a mission 3. I do most of that off-screen later. And in general, I don't do the extra Gummi missions in between parts or anything. I'll point out where I do most of the Gummi cleanup when we get to that.
Did you consider naming the ship something like, I don't know, I feel like the Crown Coaster might work, but it works.
Yeah, I just decided to name it after the channel. I think I named it that in Kingdom Hearts 1, and I think it had a stricter character limit. But yeah, now we're at level 30, so I'm just sucking up all the medals.
Whoa.
There's some health pickups.
That's a nice score.
Yeah, you can. Those little stars that fly out of enemies, those are the pickups that you can get. Like right there, you got a neon orb. That does the same thing as a neon bar, but I hide them inside the ship because, I don't know, I don't like the way they look as much.
It's a good thing I don't have photosensitive seizures, or I'd be in real trouble right now.
There is a lot going on in the Gummi missions, and it can take a minute to be able to parse what's happening and be able to actually, like, play them.
Would you call this bullet hell or bullet heaven?
It's a little bullet hell-ish. It's kind of like closer to a Star Fox, though. It's like a simplified Star Fox. Oh, and look, I missed 2 things there. One of them was that red one I pointed out, but oh well. But yeah, it's kind of not worth it to go out of your way to try to get a whole bunch of extra stuff, because it's not until the final Gummi mission where you get the final cost limit upgrade, and that's where your ship goes from good to top tier. So putting in too much time before you even have that is kind of not worth it.
Hey, what is this place?
It's huge.
Did you catch the name of this world?
I did.
I wonder who lives here.
Everyone, there's a twink in the castle.
Hey, does anybody else recognize that?
It's interesting that he's still a beast.
Oh yeah, I mean, everything that happened in Kingdom Hearts 1 didn't stop the curse and everything.
True. I'm
So,
just
yeah.
curious how they would parse that kind of storyline. I wouldn't mind if they had the little French town, but I'm assuming they did not do that.
Most of the film takes place in the castle, so I think that they just kept it simple and
Right.
kept it here. But yeah, we're here in the world of Beauty and the Beast. We saw Beast and Belle in Kingdom Hearts 1, but not in their own world. It fell to darkness. They just hung out in Hollow Bastion.
Donald, no! I remember this scene from Beauty and the Beast scared me as a kid.
Whoa!
Alright. We get to listen to the battle theme from this world, too.
That's nice.
I want to say it's called, like, Waltz of the Damned or something?
Wow. That's a cool name.
Yeah. But yeah, lots of shadows in here, so it would be ideal for grinding a later drive form, but we don't have that one yet.
Oh?
Oh, come on, enough already.
Oh, come on, I was doing just fine.
Whoa.
Not bad choreography in the animation there on Beast.
Just in time. Wah!
Probably shouldn't have kept it out in the open like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Beast knows them. They were friends. Doesn't even acknowledge them.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. As I was going to say, if there was the village, we could have an epic showdown at the wedding with Gaston and Sora, but nah. We don't get to see Gaston thrown in the mud.
Gee, do you think?
Yeah, I am very sad to report that as of today, as of right now, they have never put Gaston in any Kingdom Hearts project.
That sucks.
Yeah.
He has such
I
charisma
know.
for it.
Alright, so let's take a look at that Keyblade that I got last time. Like I said, Hidden Dragon is probably the single worst Keyblade that has ever been implemented into a Kingdom Hearts game.
Wow.
Simply because nothing ever uses it. There's no strategy, there's no build, there's no later like challenge or anything that uses it. It's just, it's got poor stats and a mediocre ability. So I mostly just use it here so I can swap out Kingdom Key and Star Seeker. So now I've got Star Seeker in the primary and Kingdom Key as my secondary
Okay, cool.
on Valor form.
I was wondering how that worked. So you needed that third Keyblade to do that?
Yep, they do not allow you to swap them right
that's
across.
stupid.
So I was stuck with Kingdom Key and Star Seeker for that first world. Star Seeker's ability is Air Combo Plus, so I get an extra hit when I'm attacking things in the air before getting to the aerial finisher. And for Hidden Dragon, it has, in the stock game, it's called MP Rage. My translation mod changes it to MP Siphon. Basically, you get a little MP back whenever you take a hit.
Oh.
But especially for how early game that Keyblade is, that really doesn't matter because, like I said, magic isn't that big of a deal because it's not very powerful and we don't have very many spells yet.
That looks hard to get.
It's going to be a while before we can get that one.
High jump, level 10.
Oh, we're going to need more than high jump. We're going to need some other movement skills. Yeah, and thanks to the way that drive forms level up, it goes level 1, 2, 3, and then max. And max is restricted to when you're actually in that form, which means that you don't get the other movement skills. Because apart from support skills, you lose all of your regular attack things, all the ones in blue and yellow, when you go into a drive form. So the other drive forms will not let you do high jump, for example. So this is an area that's easily missed on your first time through the courtyard. You just head back and you can get some stuff here.
Oh, I'm surprised they even bothered to have it.
There's another area over there on the bridge, but we can't go there quite yet. Now, also, you may notice in some cutscenes, it was a little bit noticeable in one in the Land of Dragons. There's occasionally this weird little circle around Sora's head. I don't think I mentioned it before, did I?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. That is a consequence of the texture downgrade mod, the one that replaces the AI upscaled textures that they introduced for the Steam release and reverts them to the same ones that are on PS4 and Xbox One and whatnot. And I don't know why it does that. I have an idea, but it doesn't always play nice in cutscenes, so occasionally you might see this weird little circle around Sora's head or floating around.
That's interesting.
And that's one of the main reasons why, if I were to do this all over again, I would definitely not use that texture mod.
Well, luckily I haven't noticed it, so it's probably not too bad.
Yeah. There's some other things that are... I think I missed a pickup over there, enemy drop. Oh well. Yeah, so here's the ballroom.
Oh, these son of guns. I hate these guys.
Yep, the large bodies are back, but they're a little bit easier to manage due to having some new reaction commands.
Nice. Does that just basically make them, just knocks them off their feet?
If you can manage to hit a finishing move on their backs, you'll pop them up in the air, and then you can do that full swing to do some extra damage. Additionally, they can do a new attack where they slide on the ground, and you can do a reaction command that sort of counters that and then pops them up so you can do full swing again. So they're still annoying, but I would say that they're more manageable than they were in 1. And they do... Oh, there it is. There's that reaction command. So I do think they more clearly telegraph their attacks, where they get that aura once they get low health and go on this belly slide.
That's a really cool combo.
Yep, a lot of enemies have stuff that's sort of similar to that. Now, I want to say in the original film that this scene, the ballroom, was CGI.
It was. It was one of the first. The beginnings of the deep canvas. I don't think it was deep canvas yet, but it was on its way there.
Yeah, and that movie was pre Toy Story, right?
Yeah. Toy Story was basically the Sleeping Snow White of CGI. Movies that existed, just nothing feature length.
Yeah, first feature length, all CGI film.
Yeah, they didn't think anybody would want to sit through something like that long, but here we are.
Yep.
Donald! Who opened the door?
Huh.
I'm so happy you're here.
She's not
first time seeing...
Yeah.
Yeah, first time seeing her outside of her iconic gold dress.
Goofy.
Hiya.
Oh.
But yeah, as a Princess of Heart, Belle remembers us from Kingdom Hearts 1 near the end. Alright, so Belle's voice actress here is Paige O'Hara. She didn't do too much outside of voicing Belle, although she did act on Broadway a bunch.
Oh, nice.
She was replaced by Julie Nathanson as the official voice of Belle in 2011, now that her voice is kind of aged. But yeah.
What would she even need to be replaced for?
I mean, they still like bringing Belle back for merchandise or other projects. Right. So, I mean, if they ever wanted to bring her back for another Kingdom Hearts game, someone's got to voice her.
That's true. He locked up all of his stuff. I'm just picturing them all crammed into a small cell.
A cell named the local storage place.
Undercroft. It's a weird word.
A lot of cool names for like rooms in places that we don't really use anymore. That are used here in this castle. Alright, speaking of Kingdom Hearts 1's version of Hollow Bastion, an early trailer showed the Great Crest, a piece of the castle from that game, being the place where Sora first encounters the remnants of Organization 13, rather than being at the Bailey in the final game.
Let's see. A croft is a small agricultural landholding in Scotland, typically worked by a tenant farmer known as a crofter, often featuring a small house and a shared grazing rights. Roofed in traditional Highland subsistence farming, monocrops are legally regulated, often used for sheep farming, livestock rearing, and small-scale cultivation. Which makes me wonder if Lara Croft is... if that's where her last name comes from.
Maybe. I'm not sure that, knowing what the Undercroft is here, I'm not sure that that's the right word. Maybe it has a similar origin. But also, Beauty and the Beast takes place in France.
Right. And this says an Undercroft is a subterranean or ground level, often vaulted stone or brick-lined chamber built under a church, cathedral, or medieval house. So
that would definitely be the one.
That makes sense. So the croft is like the house in the land, and then the Undercroft is your basement. It's a fancy way to say basement.
All right. Yep, that definitely describes where we're headed. All right, here we are in the West Wing.
Oh, they got the guys holding up pillars. I can see them in the movie just suffering endlessly. Like, imagine you were turned into that.
Yeah, fortunately, it was the people that got turned into objects, not the other way around. So obviously, these pillars were already here.
Right.
Hey, these suits of armor are completely impassable.
It's very much like the Pokemon cut bush with the tiny little bush.
In the insurmountable waist-high fence. A totally ordinary dresser.
You're going to scratch my veneer, darling.
So this would be the first time that any of them have seen any of the cursed inhabitants of the castle, because they were not seen nor mentioned in Kingdom Hearts 1. Which meant that they all fell to darkness.
Oh. And if something falls to Darkless, do they become a Heartless?
No, I want to say that if you're on a world when it falls to darkness, you probably just are in stasis, more or less, in the realm of darkness. But of course, this needed to be a mini-game.
Just so you have to push her when she's not awake.
Yep, just tap triangle a whole bunch, and then don't be a ding-dong. I'm not even sure that I remember what happens if you accidentally wake him up, because this is not a hard mini-game.
I imagine she just slides back, and you have to do it again.
Probably. Sounds like all this could have been avoided if we had just woken her up.
Yeah.
Like, If she's gonna wake up anyway, why did we have to push her out of the way first?
Yeah. I think I liked her as a character as a kid. Like, she seemed fun.
Beauty and the Beast wasn't a film that I watched much as a kid. I'm not sure that I watched the whole thing all the way through until I was at least in my teens.
It was one of the VHS ones we had on repeat.
Yeah, most of my Disney film watching when I was a kid was focused around Toy Story and Monsters, Inc. I was more Pixar focused.
Right. It's funny because we're only 2 years different.
Mm-hmm. But like my older brother, I know he watched Aladdin a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know I did. I watched that sucker on repeat.
I want to say that we dug out my childhood copy of Aladdin on VHS, and the colors were in rough shape due to how many times the film had been played.
I recently found an unopened copy of Cats Don't Dance on recently, as in last year, I guess, on VHS, and I should really test that thing. Well, I think it's open, but it looks brand new, so I should see if it's in good shape. Might actually be worth something. You ever seen Cats Don't Dance?
I don't think so. At least, certainly not the whole thing.
I would love to watch that one with you. It's really fun. It's a Warner Brothers movie.
Mm-hmm. Alright, little bit of trivia here. Kingdom Hearts 2 is the only game in the series to have ever received a Spanish language dub. Apparently this is a similar situation with Metal Gear Solid. The 2.5 compilation did not include this dub, making it PS2 exclusive, and it will likely never be released again as the other games didn't get one, and the final mix version of KH2 has new scenes that were never dubbed.
That door looks very Heartless-like.
You would be correct.
It's not a bad idea. Enemy door.
Yep, let's fight that door. And they're both holding on to the keyhole.
These guys look a lot like some characters from Deltarune. Non-zero chance Toby Fox was inspired.
We know that one of the main things that he was inspired by in making Undertale was Mario and Luigi, which I played a whole lot of.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's
the whole idea of like the RPG attack comes, and then if you're quick with like movement or whatever thing, you can avoid damage entirely. Yeah, that's where that came from.
Okay. I like the joke of Undertale is what happens when you have a musician try to program a game.
Interesting.
Because he doesn't really know how to program. Or at least he used to be a lot worse. I mean, it's all made in, I think, Game Maker, which is crazy.
Huh. So, you saw right there the true form of this boss. It's actually a Possessor Heartless that is possessing the door.
Okay.
And we use the Keyblade to cast it out. And there are other Possessors that take over the statues, and you saw there, it's a reaction command that I love, but I don't often get to use. If you can manage to get the Possessors into a certain state, the statues that run around, you can do something where you release the Possessor inside, and it's an instant kill.
Oh, nice.
But quite often, it's hard to even get them in that state before they die, or Donald and Goofy whack them and then knock them out of their stun state.
Be nice if they couldn't do that.
Or they like hit Goofy's shield and get stunned and they don't get in that state.
So remind me, when a Heartless gets defeated, presumably the heart that was corrupted goes back to the person who had it, or?
No, I think it is supposed to move on to Kingdom Hearts.
Oh. That makes sense. I never thought about the name before. Huh. Not many of us here.
You mean Gaston wanted to rescue?
Did someone say rescue?
Shh.
Oh, I know him.
Quiet. It might be them.
Oh, they look like nice boys to me.
We are nice. We're your friends.
Yeah, Belle sent us to find you.
Well, Miss Potts sounds correct, at least.
Wow.
All right, so Mrs. Potts is voiced by her original voice actress of Angela Lansbury. She needs no introduction. Manchurian Candidate was her major breakout hit. She considered her role as Mrs. Potts to be a gift for her 3 grandchildren, which is very sweet.
We who are overjoyed to see you.
She also voiced the Empress Dowager in Anastasia.
Oh.
But of course, her most famous role is Jessica Fletcher in Murder, She Wrote.
Oh.
It seems so long ago.
It was a cold winter's night. An old beggar woman came to the castle and asked for shelter.
But the master of this castle, that is, of course, the prince... Stop that! Put me down this instant!
Donald be stimming.
All right, so they're just going to go into the backstory of Beauty and the Beast. I think we all know that. Cogsworth is also voiced by his film actor, David Ogden Stiers. His career took off with him playing Major Charles Emerson Winchester III, MD, on MASH, netting him 2 Emmys. He also voiced Ratcliffe and Wiggins in Pocahontas, Jumba in Lilo and Stitch, and Kamaji in the English dub of Spirited Away. Oh, and he was Mr. Mallard on Regular Show?
Oh my gosh, that's weird.
Now, Lumiere is not voiced by his original voice actor. He's voiced by Jeff Bennett, who I previously covered as the voice of Merlin here. The original voice of Lumiere was Jerry Orbach. He passed away prior to this game's release. Orbach was considered one of the last bona fide leading men of Broadway and was a global television celebrity by the time of his death in 2004 of cancer. And I think that's all I got on him.
Yeah, Jeff Bennett, I'm used to hearing... He did a lot of stuff for Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. I think he was... oh gosh, I can't think of the guy's name. The smart penguin from Penguins of Madagascar. I can't remember. Skipper? Sarge?
The Skipper.
There's Skipper, Private, Rico...
And Kowalski.
It's Kowalski. That's the name. The one I couldn't think of.
Yeah, so I want to say that every world in the game has at least one actor that is a recast for one reason or another, and Lumiere, I think, is the only one in Beast Castle that isn't from the film.
Does Chip ever talk or nah?
I don't think he does.
Yeah.
So yeah, right there I did the little trick again to get all my drive gauges back.
Smart.
And obviously in Mulan, the non-returning actor was both Shan Yu and Mushu. Well, that'll about do it for this part of Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. We'll see you next time.